with a lusty round of applause. Make welcome the beautiful Chisom Nwokwu as she talks about the writing session. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Are you happy to be here? Okay. Good morning. I'm wearing pink. I'm feeling myself. So when I attended Chico Africa in the same venue, I can't remember the year, but I walked into this room and I didn't think I would ever be in a room that has, all the women in technology. So give yourself a round of applause. So I'm here today to give a very exciting talk, a topic I really love talking about, and a topic that is also very popular. Who's excited? Are you excited to learn about personal branding? How you can be a Texas and still shine in your field? Okay, so the topic for today would be how you can balance self-promotion and value delivery. So hi, my name is Chisom, as she said. I am a software engineer focused on big data, and I was also an ex-intern at the Bank of America and previously a software engineer at Microsoft. I'm an author. I've spoken at over 100+ tech events. Clap for me now. And this is one of them as well. I'm also a digital content creator. You can catch me on YouTube saying, hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Or you can catch me on Instagram making Instagram reels. So, yeah. There was this time on Twitter where there was a certain topic that was being very popular and people were like, real software engineers don't have social media accounts. How many of us remember? Okay. And there was another tweet that said, actual engineers don't make noise on social media, they do the work. How many of us can remember that period when people felt like, oh, if you're an engineer and you're making noise on social media, you're not an actual engineer? Do you agree with that? Okay, so you feel like you can do the work and still talk the talk, right, on social media? Okay. So, how many of us have ever built something amazing at work, but we haven't told anybody about it? Like you worked on something and your manager was like, this is so good, but you haven't told anybody about it. Okay, do you think that's from a form of an angle of fear, or the fact that you think nobody cares? If you think nobody will care, raise your hands up. Okay. Have you ever written a technical article and you've gotten scared to share because you think you're not good enough or because you're not an expert? How many of us? I'm not seeing hands up, okay, because it happens to me too. Have you ever felt you might be too loud about your achievements if you want to start speaking up on social media? Nah, okay, everybody. So, have you ever felt irrelevant because you don't have followers? How many of us? Okay, I think this one is very popular. So, before I want to start, let me just give a brief intro on how I would say I approach this personal branding thing. Back in 2019, I schooled at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. I studied computer science. So, I had about 230 followers on Twitter, but that wasn't my focus. My focus was just to learn. My focus was to build things, right? And I was an Android developer. I did 100 days of code. 100 days of code, how many people? I did 100 days of code, I was writing articles. I was doing all those things, but unknown to me, I was unconsciously building a personal brand for myself. Fast forward to 2024, and looking back, I actually wish I started talking about the things I was doing. I wish I joined more communities. I wish I wrote more articles. So, because of lack of time, I won't really give you like the trajectory, but understanding that the Chisom you're seeing here today, or the Chisom you're seeing standing here today, wasn't like this in 2019, she wasn't like this in 2018, but that conscious effort to make sure that I'm working behind my laptop, spending late nights, building Android applications, and I'm also writing articles. So that's what I feel a personal brand is. But what is a personal brand, right? Before we can understand what a personal brand is, we want to understand what a personal brand is not. A personal brand is not having huge followership on LinkedIn or on Twitter. Have you seen people on social media that have huge followers, but they always tweet very off, weird things, right? So a personal brand is not about having a huge followership. You cannot say, oh, because I don't have followers, I can't build a personal brand. Or because people are not following me, I am not building a personal brand. But rather, a personal brand is about you having the right connections and building a solid community for yourself. what the followers do is, it's like a byproduct of when you've built a community of people that trust you and you've built the right connections. A personal brand is not about self-promotion. Building a personal brand is not only about you coming to, promote yourself online when there is no substance, but rather a personal brand is providing value, establishing credibility. A personal brand is more or less like you being selfless to help other people than you being self-centered around yourself. A personal brand is not separate from your personal values. Building a personal brand for yourself in your tech career shouldn't be separate from the kind of person that you are. So if you see yourself doing things that is not related to the kind of person you are as a human being, that is not a personal brand. You're basically just trying to copy someone else. Because when you're building a personal brand, you're thinking about authenticity first before any other thing. A personal brand is not just about your achievements, sharing your achievements. Oh, I built an app, I launched an app on Play Store, I got a promotion. A personal brand is telling your story in such a way that it helps people. So if you're coming online and you're telling people, oh, I got a promotion, my manager gave me a thumbs up in the work that I did, you also want to tell people the story that led to that achievement. Do you understand? Right. So a personal brand is not just about your achievements, but rather you want to share your story in such a way that it inspires other engineers, product designers, UI, UX people, that this is what they can achieve. A personal brand is not fixed or inflexible. I think this particular statement speaks to me. In 2019 to 2020, I was all about Android development until I joined another company and I started doing big data engineering work. So a personal brand is not fixed. Because you're a product designer today and everybody knows you online as a product designer or a product designer in a community, doesn't mean that when you become a cybersecurity expert, you failed. A personal brand is not fixed, but it is flexible. So a personal brand is not fixed or flexible, but rather your personal brand should reflect continuous development in your career. If I become a CTO today, I want people to go back to my YouTube channel. I want people to go back to my Twitter account to see the trajectory of my growth and to see that even if you started as something doesn't mean that that's what people should know you for 10, 20 years. Your personal brand is meant to be flexible, so don't box yourself in. So a personal brand is who you are and what you stand for. When I see your picture, when I see your name, when I see the tone of the things that you tweet about or talk about, I should be able to attribute that brand to you. I should be able to see you and say, okay, this person is an expert in design. This person is an expert in cybersecurity. So it's who you are, what you stand for, what your values are, and what you want people to know you as. And love it or not, everybody seated here, you've unconsciously built a personal brand, regardless of the fact that you're not consciously doing it. You have unconsciously done it, and it's something that can be changed if it's something that you do not like. And a few ways that you can do that would be, first of all, identify your niche. I was talking to someone at an event I attended last week, and she said she's a QA tester. I'm like, she said, nobody posts about QA. I'm the only one in the community. I want more people. I'm like, instead of looking for more people, why don't you start it yourself? Why don't you become the star girl of QA in Nigeria, the star girl of QA in Africa? How many of us want that? So whatever you're doing, I'm not snailing hands. Nobody wants to become star girls in their fields. So no matter what you're learning, strive to become that person that people can look at and say, okay, this person is an expert in this thing. So identify your niche and understand that you can create impact with that field that you're in. Create content. I know people say this a lot. People say, oh, write articles, create videos. But these things actually help. Because when you can establish yourself in a particular field, you can build applications and do amazing things, you can still go ahead to teach other people. Employers love people that can teach. Community managers love people that can teach. So don't just do the work behind your laptop and end it there. Try to write an article. Me, for instance, when I built my first app on Play Store and I launched it, I had written over 15 plus Android articles. And that was me teaching people about Android development. And it widened my knowledge in that particular topic I was learning. So don't just end it when you finish your work and you're going back home. Try to write articles, try to apply to speak at events, and never feel like you're not the best person to do that thing. Never feel like you're not the best person to take that topic because you have just 6 months of experience. Whatever you learn, try to pass down that knowledge to someone, because that's the only way that you grow. Another thing would be expertise. I think this is where most people make the mistake. People put personal branding before building expertise. You're not meant to talk the talk before doing the work, right? So you have to go back a bit and actually do the work, build those applications, push those reports on GitHub, push your designs on Dribble, before you now come out to talk about those things. If you're telling people about the process, that's fine, but don't try to put personal branding before actually being or building expertise in that particular field. Value proposition. When people see you online, when people see you in a community, what sets you apart? Why would they see Chisom and say, okay, I want to employ Chisom for this role? What sets me apart? What kind of work ethic do I have? What kind of value am I giving to a company? Let people talk about you in such a way, or build your personal brand in such a way that when people talk about you, they know that you can deliver in whatever thing that you're giving. So, two things, expertise and value proposition. Never put these two things outside of your personal brand. Build this first before you now concentrate on talking the talk. Another thing will be engaging in public speaking. I talked about that already. The world is no longer going to favor introverts. How many introverts do we have here? The person, I'm an introvert. I don't like talking. I want to be writing my articles. I'm really sorry, because the way the world is going now, people want to stand out in any way that they can. So I get that you're an introvert, but please try to come out of your shell and deliver as much as you can. Build a solid network. I cannot count the number of people that I can reach out to today on LinkedIn, and just by barely checking my LinkedIn profile, they're answering me. But if I have a shabby LinkedIn profile, do you think they will answer me? Do you think they will they will even look at me? So, building a personal brand gives you access to an amazing network. You can reach out to someone, and because that person has seen that you share a lot about what you do, the thing is, if you keep working in your room, nobody knows what you're doing. It's only you and your manager and your co-workers. Outside that circle, nobody knows what you're doing. So it's left for you to actually come out of that shell and tell people what you do, because that's the only way they will know that you exist. Another thing is, never prioritize showing up in public over actual work. I think with the way the tech industry has evolved today, so many people are prioritizing, oh, how many followers do I have on Twitter? How many likes did I get? In fact, let me tell you a very short story. I was writing articles on Android development on LinkedIn, and I was always posting about it. Nobody was liking this post, and I didn't really care about that. That wasn't what I was optimizing for. But 6 months later, someone reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, oh, Chisom, I've seen that you've been posting a lot of things on LinkedIn. You write a lot of articles, and I like you. I just like the way you look. That's how she put it. And she said, okay, I would love to refer you for a software engineering role at Microsoft. And that's how I got my first job, actually. Please give me a round of applause. So, imagine if I was learning Android development in my small room, and I didn't talk about what I was learning. She wouldn't have seen me. She wouldn't have noticed me. So try to put in the work first, and then optimize for growth. Try to write articles, try to make videos, try to teach, join a community, impact people in such a way that you're outside of your bubble. People know what you're doing. And as you go through these events, there are a couple of people that will be coming to speak here. Let these questions linger through your mind. Who are you? Who do you want people to know you for? If I see you today, a lot of people, I've already met people outside. If I see you today, what do I want to know you for? What kind of expertise do I feel like you're going to bring to the table? If I want to employ you, if I want to collaborate with you, who do you want to help? Do you want to help beginners in tech? Do you want to help experts? Do you want to help companies leverage different solutions for their brand? Do you want to help organizations? What problem are you solving? And it doesn't mean that you're going to be the first person to solve that problem, but what is the unique value you're bringing to that thing that you're doing? What do you believe in? There are a lot of things going on social media now, and if you don't take a stand in something that you believe in, you won't be able to build an authentic personal brand for yourself. So you have to understand who you are, what you believe in, and the values that you possess. Then the last is, what stories can you tell to inspire people? A bunch of us here might be beginners, intermediate, or advanced people in their career, but how can you tell your story in such a way that if I listen to it, I'm inspired to move better? If I listen to it, I'm inspired to become an expert in my field. So these are the questions that should linger throughout this summit, and that is the end of this lightning talk. Thank you.